So the couple people that are online, can I get a thumbs up or just a quick message if you can hear audio now? I wanted to restart that because it got screwed up right at the beginning. All right, perfect. Thank you. I don't know what is with the earphones, but I think it's just too many Bluetooth connections. And as soon as I try to take a phone call, it just does not reconnect for some reason. So we'll go second period starting underway. I think they've got the penalty on the wrong side. Florida should be on a power play for the first 54 seconds here. Timekeeper's trying to figure that one out real quick. Shell, Golding, Iaquinto, Pugh, and Visa at the back. Iaquinto back to Visa. Visa retreats into her own end. Give me a quick up to Pugh. And that is offside. He's got a little bit too excited about the puck there. OHA sends it back deep in the zone. Visa to retrieve. Visa over to Pugh. He goes up to Iaquinto. At space, drop that back to Visa. Visa. I got to move around all the way over. Pugh's got to take that one off the boards. Do a little scissor play with Visa. Visa into the bumper. Pugh can't quite get there to hold it in. And OHA sends it back down the ice. Oof. Missed giveaway in their own zone. I am not sure what's going on in this penalty here because they have more time than I thought they did. So, oh no, they're just running it out. Penalties expired, and yep, 5-on-5. I just had a little timekeeper mishap there. They're running that one out, so the clock is not telling the truth here. OHA, a little toe drag, puts it to the weak side. They walk in, look for a centering pass. It gets broken up by Visa's skate. They're right into the slot, shot dead on. And save and a face off to the right of the goaltender. Face off win by OHA. It gets tied up by Comiskey. Everyone's still digging for it. Quick D to D by Ontario. Comiskey intercepts that and steps into the rush. She's around one player. Tries to toe drag, but hits a skate on her way. Muncie picks that back up. That's Visa over to Humphreys. Humphreys looking for a centering pass through the middle of the ice. Visa takes the body in the player. Humphreys in pursuit as OHA retreats into their own end to regroup. looked like it could have been a too many players in the ice situation there with a change in the scrum right in front of the bench, but that doesn't quite happen. OHA is going to rim that around to their D. Another quick D to D, and that's Muncy off the stick of Muncy high to the boards. Those you can see in the blind spot there. OHA in the corner of the puck that I can't quite see myself. Back up to the point. Over to the left side. Looking to go back. No one there for Ontario. So I'm going to bring that into the zone, but quick break the other way. OHA. Ooh. And that looks like it sniped and hit the back of the net and out. So Ontario turns that quick transition and up the ice into a goal. So 2-0 for Ontario Hockey Academy, 13:16 left in the second period. Face-off win by Ontario. Back to her D partner. She loses her skates. And just going to bank it off the boards, try to get it out. Quinto rims that around deep in the Ontario zone. And try to reverse that behind the net, but meet some resistance. But got the puck off the half wall, pass broken up. That's going in directly. Margot will hold on for a face-off. Face-off win. Pugh gets taken into the boards, ties the puck up in the corner. That pops out to Park. Park had good position on it, but she gets a stick lift at the last minute. You send it back up around the horn. Oh, that's high stick. That play would have been called down. I think it actually hit a couple high sticks. That'll bring out a line change for both teams. 12:27 left in the second. Face-off win by OHA. They send it down the half wall, weak side. Player tries for a one-time, but was way behind that one. So little chip around. Poncer chasing that down. Ontario right back in. He's looking for the wide side there, but glove save. Face-off tied up. That comes back to Visa. Puck pops out in the corner. Ontario walking the blue line and then has to just throw it in. It goes back. Comiskey off the boards. Big interference play that I cannot believe that they did not call on the hit on Poncer. Very obvious interference to me, but Comiskey back to Muncy. Muncy chips around. Puck comes out off a skate. Comiskey back to retrieve. He's got some pressure. Number 99, she throws it looking for Muncy down the ice, but Muncy can't quite reach that to avoid the icing, and that'll come back down to the Florida zone with 10:58 left in the second period. A face-off win by OHA. Back, they look for a player down below the net. Shot goes wide. Can't quite see who's in the scrum, but Ontario comes out with that. Comiskey ties that back up. It's Humphreys, I think, that's going to chip it down. Ontario just sends one player. The rest go for a change. Visa brings a puck up the ice. Looking for Anderson through the middle. Cardoe must make a save there. On the dump in. Comiskey dumps that off to Visa, but Visa gets tied up right away. Still kind of jockeying for position between the two teams and below the net here. So that finally comes back up to Ontario. Ontario, quick D to D, but stick on there. So that gets deflected high and wide off Anderson's stick. Okay, some space here for Comiskey. So get it out of the zone. Up to Anderson. Anderson going to chip and chase. She gets entirely rubbed out on another, what I would think would be called interference, but little broken up play results in offside for OHA. Face-off win by OHA back. They're going to fire that in around the boards. They got two players screaming in. Pugh deflects that one wide into the corner. Geez, I just ran into the glass. Cardoe has to make a save. Pugh retrieves. Quick backhand, but the Florida players are run into each other, so that drifts into the Ontario zone with them in possession. They're quick up wide. This is how they scored their last goal here. Cardoe gets a piece of that one. Got to watch that weak side fly. Oh, little tip in front. That bounces up. The tip bounces into Cardoe's chest. .820 left in the second period. OHA up by a score of 2-0. Florida not able to get on the scoreboard here yet in this JWHL Challenge Cup. Visa sheds off the attackers in the corner, looking for Poncer up the middle. And right back, Comiskey's got to make a quick play. She gets pickpocketed there. Ontario looking for a center pass that comes all the way out to the point. And they're just going to throw that right back in. Comiskey retrieves, but forechecker steals the puck. Can't quite see what's happening down there, but Visa takes the Ontario player into the boards, and they pick that back up, but it goes straight back out to, they're calling OHA on a penalty for something. For roughing. So with 7:22 left in the second, that will send Florida to power play opportunity. Anderson, Golding, Shell, Visa, and Pugh out for the power play. Pugh keeps that rim in. Has to fight to keep that one in, but can't quite shake off the third attempt. So Ontario comes down. Puck goes back. They lose it and retreats all the way into the OHA end. They can put two players on the puck here. They're shorthanded right now, but player came in with speed there. And bit of a dangerous scoring attempt, shorthanded. He's going to settle that down and send it back to Visa. He was looking for a forward there, but unfortunately it went to the Ontario player. And they're back on another shorthanded rush. P with a quick poke check, but straight to the Ontario player. 40 seconds left in this power play attempt there. They'd barely been able to get it into the zone. So Visa beating a player wide. She's going to pitch that in deep. Komisky retreats back. Gets the puck knocked away from her. She's still on a bouncing puck, but some free space in front of her. She throws it at the net, turned aside by the Ontario goalie. Finally, some possession. Looking for the short, Komisky looking for the short side there, but that goes wide. Muncie side steps, but two players in her skates. That goes out to Ceballos. Ceballos tries to throw it through low, but blocked. Successful kill by Ontario. And they've got a path to the net there. Nice stick check by Komisky to save that. Little toe drag and backhand centering, but Quino throws that around the player, but that goes back to the Ontario D. Florida with numbers back. And Ontario with the puck. Scissor play coming off the boards. Good block by Komisky. Lays down the shin pad. Park brings that out, but straight back in by Ontario. Komisky with a good stop on that play, and she's going to send it down so they can get a change of pace here and change the lines. 3:48 left in the second period. Score still 2-0 for Ontario Hockey Academy over Florida. OHA with the win here again. They're going to throw that down low on the boards. Looking for someone in the center. Another little Sunday skate. He tried to backhand it, but that's off its mark. So OHA has to retreat into the neutral zone, regroup, and they're going to throw that deep again. Another rim. Bobofsky back to, she reverses it the other way. That goes straight out to the point. Pew deflects that one. And a quick transition where they thought they were getting it out. Low shot. Misses left. Florida chips that one all the way down the ice for an icing. 2:44 left in the second period here. A face-off win by Florida. They've got to scramble to get it out of the clutches of OHA there. Anderson looking to throw that in. Good wide pass by OHA there. Looking to drive wide. Just pass. Anderson looking to break that one up, but just inches ahead of her stick, and they get a shot right on. Cardoe hangs on. She'll have a face-off at 2:12 to her left. A little player in motion, a little CFL action before the lineup. I can't see who anyone is here for a second for some reason. Ontario controlling the play. Visa looking up through the middle for Anderson, but it's going their opposite way. That's going to go back to Comiskey. Visa's going to turn that back into her own zone and wheel a net. She's got some speed. That was, I was going to say, that was very close to being offsides, but it is an offside call on Florida. We'll have Humphreys, Golding, Poncer up front, and Pugh and Ceballos as defenders. 1:25 left in the second. Broken up play by Golding, but you got too many players to get through. Ceballos pinches. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Somehow, Ontario. Pugh breaks up that pass. Now she comes up the ice. Yeah, another what would get called for interference on many cases, but that doesn't seem to be the way that they're officiating this game. So Ceballos steps up to break up that pass, but that comes back. Ontario throws it straight to Pugh. Pugh looking for a stretch there for, I think, Park, but can't quite get there. Gets broken up between Ceballos and Pugh, but Ontario walks out with a point-blank shot and beats Cardoe 5-hole, I think. I didn't quite see what happened on the boards, but I think two Florida players got tied up, and they ended up walking out for 3 shot on net right in the prime scoring area. Makes it 3-0 with 15 seconds left in the second period here. Ceballos back to retrieve. She gets taken into the boards. And Shell just trying to drain the clock off and run out the period. So a late goal by Ontario to go up 3-0 here to start the third. So, third period ready to start underway. I don't know if I can lip read there. I wasn't sure if that was French swear words coming out of the coach's mouth or what exactly he was giving them, or an inspiring pep talk. So, face-off win by Ontario. They rim that deep. Comiskey back to retrieve. She's got pressure right away. She reverses that. Visa picks the puck up. Quick up the boards. Goaling chips that around the defender. Chases that. Shell not quite able to hold it in. Visa back to retrieve on it. Close to a 2-on-1, but wasn't quite clean. Visa looking to backhand and center that to Golding, but that gets broken up. Ontario manages to get that out. Anderson's going to get a hooking penalty there. Stick up of just a little bit too high on that attempt to get the puck. So that will send OHA to a power play for 2 minutes. Ceballos and Pugh, Humphreys and Muncie out on the PK. Movement around the top, little drop pass, and Ontario will capitalize on that right away. It's some good puck movement up top, and then for a little bit of deception, and then got the puck down low and across, couple whacks at it, and puck bounces up and over Cardohi. So an early goal to start out the third for OHA. There's a quick in on a dump attempt and just cover to slow the play down. Florida comes up with the puck on that face-off. It's a bit scrambly. And Ontario manages to keep it in. Hard low shot with a rebound. That gets turned aside the corner. Puck up high. Right in the slot. Shot dead on. Cardohi holds on to that one for another whistle. Face off to the right. 15-18 left in the third. Face-off win back to Visa. Visa backhands it up. One time over from Golding to Anderson. At least I think that's... It's Golding with the puck. Quick poke check sends that out of the zone. We've got to regroup. Puck thrown in deep. Kind of missing the F2 on the forecheck here. F1's generally in there. As Popovsky tied that up, comes out. Anderson picks up the puck loose in the neutral zone. OHA gets that back out. So Visa having to retreat. She curls back. He's looking for something, but manages to pick up the puck and find it again there. As the player lost it in her feet. Little soccer chip off the skate there to herself. She's going to turn back, look for a player in the half walls. Little give and go play, but it has to glove that down. Oposki blocks that shot with the shins. Quinto takes player in, ties up 2. That's probably, I'm surprised that's not a penalty, but she was kind of holding her stick, so I think they gave her the benefit of the doubt. A steal in defensive zone, backhand, big rebound off, so good thing there was no player there. Visa picks it up. He's going to throw that in deep, get a much needed line change. You with a chance here. She's got a player coming deep on her. Ontario picks the puck up again. Fast break, 3-on-2. Puck deflected high and wide. Another shot high off the Ontario player in front of the net. Hugh ties it up in the corner. Ontario digs it out. It's a good play by Ponser. Get that out. She tries for a chip. Doesn't come off the boards exactly how she's expecting, though. OHA centering pass off a skate. They managed to pick it back up, though. As Humphreys, or Muncie deflected that one high and over the net. Battle in behind. OHA comes up with it again. They go low to high. Low shot. Pad save by Cardohi. Golding gets a chance here. She's got a lane to the net. Toe drag to get around the player. Still there. Puck loose. Good chance in front. I know it was Golding on the second rebound. Back to Comiskey looking for something in a tip in front. Good battle down low, frustrating the OHA players a little bit. They're throwing, I think that's Anderson throwing a shot. Oh, that was a big elbow to the head. She didn't seem to take much offense to that as far as the officials go. Good pressure. This is the most sustained pressure. That shot attempt, shot low off a skate. That was by Ceballos, but that goes wide, and Ontario's able to clear. They wave off the icing. Trying for a quick up to Shell. And Ontario back on the attack here. Bumper. Nice kick out by Cardohi. Park's going to wrap it back into her other side. The reverse play doesn't quite work out there. Good chip in the middle. Park looking to kick that up and misses it. Visa back to retrieve. She sends it back to Ceballos. Ceballos back up to Visa, who just tips that in. 9:15 left here in the third. Pugh with a poke check, but Straight to an OHA player who sends that deep. Visa trying to skate that out, gets a little bit of hook and dodges a foot sticking out. Oak checked again. Pew back on the D. Ontario's going to rim that around. Humphreys picks that up on her cover. Good little control sequence here, but then that gets tied up right away. Zaya Quinto's trying to get through the neutral zone. Drop pass. That's blocked. Quinto chips it out over the blue line. Quick D to D regroup and back in. Same around the horn shot on net. Cordova hangs on at 7:56 to get a stoppage. 7:56 left in the third. Score is still 4-0 for Ontario Hockey Academy. It's tough work playing 2 full games in your own zone. Miski with a rim around. Poncer digging for it. That was Golding behind her own net. Popovsky up off the wall to Poncer. Golding picks up a loose puck in the neutral zone. She comes back. Let's put it out to Comiskey. Comiskey all the way over to Popovsky. Pass right to Anderson. Anderson's going to chip that out to the side. Looking for a shot on. Shell picks up the puck. Looking for a centering pass, but off a skate. Ontario turns that up and off to the weak side, and they're going, that should go for an icing. 6:45 left in the third. Bring out Shell, Park, and Anderson with Ceballos and Comiskey. Back to Comiskey. Good win. That goes way wide. Ceballos in to hold that puck in on the pinch. Players digging for it, looking for a centering option. OHA on the rush. Held up by Ceballos and hold on for a stoppage in play and a face-off to the right of goaltender. 6:13 left in the third. Face-off win again by Ontario. They're putting back. Nice little give and go play. Good glove by Cordova to stop that one again. Face-off goes back to Florida. Ceballos tries to jam it through a couple times, but can't quite get it. That comes up. That Humphreys is going to get it, but slides off her stick. Ontario up around the horn again. got a bumper player wide open, but passes off. Goaling throws it up around the boards, but that's held in by the Ontario D. Out to the neutral zone, loose puck right in front. As Poncer couldn't quite get her stick around on it to get a shot on. Pinched by Ceballos. I just ran into the window again. Comes back to Comiskey. Comiskey looking weak. He's got some space. Shot attempt goes wide. Shell on the drop to Iaquinto. Iaquinto still got the puck, but finally gets poke checked. I think we'll see another dump in with 4:17 left in the third. It's Visa on the retrieval. She's going to go reverse it to Pugh. Pugh's looking for that long stretch. Right to Muncie, but she had a player right on her. Pugh chips that up to Iaquinto. That's going to come back out. Golden goes over to Visa. It's a little bit in front of her. Visa backs that up. Looking for Pugh, but she gets the puck back. Pugh's pass off the boards. Doesn't quite hit its intended mark. Back to Visa. Visa's going to turn up ice. Up to Golding, who turns back. Looking for someone coming through the middle, looking for Humphreys. Quick one touch off the breakout pass. Ontario's on the rush again. Got a 1-on-5 while they wait for some players. Goalie behind her own net. She's going to rim it around. She's looking for Anderson. Strong D pinch keeps it in. And a tie up behind the net. And then Comiskey picks it up. Ontario throws that rim deep back in the Florida zone. Visa to tie things up. Humphreys joins the fray. Shot wide. 2:18 left in the third. Puck back to Humphreys. He sees that shot all the way through and gloves that down for a whistle at 2:02 in the third. Score is still 4-0 for Okanagan Hockey Academy. See the Florida team after their second game here, 2 hard games, is starting to look a little bit tired here this Friday. Miskey takes that player into the boards and ties it up. Puck pops out. It's looking for Park up the middle. Comes out low to high. Back up top for Ontario. He's able to skate that one in. Blocker save, shot going wide. We're 25's getting a shooting gallery here with some open lanes to the net. Puck right back to her. She goes across. Stepping in and Looking for someone low. He goes to a bumper player, but Florida breaks that up. Comiskey with the puck behind her own net. Ontario does a good job of it. That first player gets shaken off the F1, that their F2 or F3 is right in there. So that puck thrown down, but I think it gets, I'm surprised they called that an icing. It looked like it got touched by an OHA player. 23 seconds left. Face off in the Florida zone. Throwing a few more bodies around there to just try to tie it up and run out the clock. Managed to bring it back. Shot straight on with 1.5 seconds left, so we'll get enough time for a face-off, and that's about it. And that is the game here for game 2. So Florida remains scoreless here in the second game. 2 tough games back to back. Started off as JWHL Challenge Cup, so I don't know if someone's keeping proper track of shots on net, but I'd like to see how many shots Cardelli stopped in these 2 games combined here. So I'm not sure what time the game is tomorrow, but our back would be a much needed break for this Florida team after those 2 games. 100 minutes almost all in your own zone here this last today. So, all right, signing off.